And they're away. Conquers and Conquers goes on the beat.
Welcome to On the Bit, our Friday night edition of 25th of September. Another cracking weekend of racing coming up. We've got the opening heats of the Country Cup Challenge and the Country Stampede. Really exciting. A great initiative from Racing Queensland, and it's we should pay respect to the fact that it's an absolutely brilliant initiative. But before we get into all the winners, please welcome our panel tonight. David Winnett, welcome, sir.
G'day, Gav. Good to be here again. And as you alluded to, mate, the first round of the heats in the Stampede and the Country Cups Challenge, great weekend of racing. Heats over 4 venues. And look, when the Battle of the Bush got cancelled and COVID hit, people were a bit worried about what might happen. But again, as you said, mate, kudos to RQ. They've stepped in. They've thrown in the Stampede. We've still got the mile race. And the participants get their chance to end up in Brisbane later on in the year in that big final. So, yep, great way to kick it off. And looking forward to a fantastic weekend of racing.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Well done. And Lee Adott, our form analyst. Welcome, Lee.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having us again tonight. It is a great weekend racing, great fields, very competitive racing it's going to be, and yeah, we'll get into it all that with the tips shortly. Hopefully I can find you a winner or two.
Yeah, it is. It's a really exciting time of year, and so let's get into it. A big weekend of racing, and we've got special guests who will join us a little bit later on in the show, but let's jump straight into the form. Lee's gone through the form for Taroom, and I'm sure he's picked a few winners out. Lee, what have you got for us?
Yeah, mate, the maiden played over 1200. It's a tough race. You can make a case for a lot of horses, but I've come up with Mary Lee. She's had 2 runs back from a spell for 2 seconds, so I've put that on top for Natalie Morton and Gavin Dempsey. Race 2 on the card is the Class B over 1,000. I've actually come up with Striking Princess for Gary Schwenke and Robbie Farrar. Robbie's been riding fantastic, and this horse is coming off a North Queensland prep. Gary was up there over the carnival, and I just think that he's placed the horse very well to race well. She's a speedy mare, so I'm hoping she does the job for me. Race 3 on the cards, the Stampede qualifier, the Open over 1,000. I've actually come up with the mechanic here. His second up form is just, it's second to none. I think he's won 3 from 5 and a placing. Patrick Sexton's horses are absolutely flying. And Isabella Reb-Jones is riding. She's been riding fantastic, and we've actually got her on the show later, so we'll have a bit more of a talk about that after. Race 4 on the card is the Anniversary Cup Benchmark 50 over 1,400. I've actually gone again with Pat Sexton and Isabella Reb-Jones with Patriotic Rose. She's well placed, and yeah, Patrick's horses have been racing sensational, so I'm expecting a forward going there. The last on the day is the Country Cups Challenge qualifier. I've actually gone with Silent Flyer. He's been racing fantastic. Hannah Phillips is doing a great job as well for Norma King, and I'm just hoping that being back out on the dirt, he will excel and race on speed and be very hard to beat. That's all for the day's racing at Taroom, guys.
Lee, before
Hey, Wesley, you
picked one out there in the heat. Can you explain to some of the viewers, do you think that there's horses who have been targeted towards these heats, or are there horses who have run into form and have surprise connections and have thought, well, we'll have a throw at the stumps here? What's the strategy in relation to getting these horses qualified?
Mate, I'm not sure. Like, every trainer's got their own plan in their head, but the mechanic's a very fast horse. He's lightly raced for a 7-year-old, and the second up form I know the horse goes really well second up, and Patrick wouldn't be taking the horse there if he didn't think he was going to be competitive. And I just think with the claim, he's going to race forward, and I just think he's going to be very hard to hold out with that second up form. He's had a few gear changes as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, but I don't expect him to start favourite or anything, but I think he will be nice juicy odds, and we'll give punters a good run for their money.
Lee, your tipping's been on fire lately, so we should be able to jump in with great confidence around the mechanic. And the second of the heats is at Longreach. This is the TAB meeting, Lee, but have you run your eye over this meeting?
I have, mate. Just bear with me for 2 seconds. Somehow I ended up with Gladstone come up instead of Longreach. The Longreach, it's fantastic to see them have a tab meeting out there. Like, it's exciting for those guys. I'm not sure how many tab meetings Longreach have ever held, but yeah, like I said, it's fantastic. I don't know how many tab meetings they've had, if they've had any, but just to showcase that meeting out there, I'm sure the people out there that are all involved with the club, trainers, jockeys, and owners would be very excited to be able to see their horses actually race on Sky. The first race on the card is the cutest Class 4 plate. I've actually come up with Hacksaw Ridge for Toddy Austin and a good friend of mine, Matty Palmer. It's great to see him back in the saddle, Matty. And this horse has been racing in open handicaps. And I just think the drop back to a Class 4 plate is very, very astute in the way Todd's placed this horse. And I think he'll be very, very hard to hold out. Race 2 on the card. I've actually gone with Dark Archer for Ray Herman and Matty Gray. This horse stepping back up to the mile, I just thought was actually going to suit the horse. He's raced all right over the mile before and very open race, but that's the way I've gone. Race 3 on the card, I've gone with Murion. Dave's tipped them into Murion a couple of times and he's absolutely destroyed them. And I think he's going to continue on his winning way for Bevan Johnson and Dakota Graham. Race 4 on the card there is the maiden plate over 1100. It's actually hard to match up some of these maiden horses out west, but I've gone with Pequalo. I hope I've said that right, for Robert Truman and Tess Townsend. Yep. With the claim, I just think it's drawn wide, but hopefully it stays out of trouble and doesn't have the dirt in its face. And run 2 seconds its last 2. I think it'll be very, very hard to hold out. Race 5 on the cards, the Stampede Qualifier Open, over 1,000. I've gone with Platinum Tycoon. He's a very handy sprinter on his day, this horse, and I don't think Johnny Mansman's had him for too long, and it's got a key booking of Ashley Butler, so I don't think there'll be too much dead weight on this horse out there, guys. And if he's anywhere near right, I think he'll toy with these horses. The Country Cup's Challenge Qualifier, the Cup, I've gone with Saranda for John Mansman again and Ashley Butler. I think it's a key booking. The horse is actually in very well in the weights, considering he's a Townsville Cup winner. He's carrying less than a couple of these other horses, and I just don't know how he's got in that well, but good luck to John. I know he placed him right. The horse travels, we know that. He can go from Brisbane to Townsville, and it doesn't seem to bother him, so I'm expecting a very full showing from Saranda as well.
What a great field. Absolutely fantastic field, isn't it?
Oh, it is, certainly. It's just great to see them get fields like that. Like in race pardon me French, in race 7, like they got 17 acceptors. Yeah. It's absolutely sensational. Like, it's just, you don't see that out west. And for the people to support the meeting like this, it just goes to show that Queensland Racing's doing the right thing by these trainers, and the trainers are supporting them back. So I hope it continues on because, yeah, it's only going to get bigger and better. And in the last race, I've gone with Burden for Clint Austin and Tess Townsend again. I just think it gets in really well with the claim. It gets back down to 61. Clint, he gets his horses going really, really well. And the horse is fifth up from a spell, so he should definitely be fit, and I think he'll be in it for a long way. That wraps up Longreach, guys.
Fantastic, Lee. Thank you very much. You've absolutely been on fire in the last few weeks, and we absolutely appreciate all the form and all the effort that you go through to find our viewers winners week after week. And Dave, we're off to Gladstone. How is the track at Gladstone, mate? Another big day of racing coming up.
Yeah, mate, it's a good day coming up in Gladstone. The track should be fine. We got about 22 mils of rain last night, which is perfect for our sand surface. Thanks to the RQ and government funding, we've just had all the new running rail installed in the last couple of weeks, and so the place is looking pretty good, and we're certainly looking forward to it. But if I can just quickly backtrack, there's a couple of horses out there at Longreach that are going to be carrying plenty, because I agree with Lee. I think Platinum Tycoon is nearly the best of the day out there in the Stampede heat. And I think Sharanda gets a gun run from the barrier, but so does Valente. So I think those two fight out the Country Cups challenge out there. And I've gone a little bit different over at Taroom. I think the inside barrier might get Absolute Bonza home in the Stampede. He'll go very, very quickly from the one and certainly take some running down for Kevin Miller. And I think Richford, last start winner, good consistent form. I think Richford can get away with the cup over there at Taroom in the Country Cups qualifier.
There you go, viewers. Sounds like Dave's also quite confident with some tips outside of his home base of Gladstone, which is always worth following. So what we'll do is we'll make sure that we've documented those and share all the tips between Dave and Lee across those venues, so you can follow them through the weekend. Before we get to Dave's tips in Gladstone, we're off for our first break of the evening, and we're back on the other side with Dave tipping in us a few winners in Gladstone.
On the Bit is proudly supported by Manuplex, creating a more productive future for Australian mining.
Welcome back, viewers, to our On the Bit TV Friday night edition. Getting ready for our Racing Queensland Country Cup Series and Stampede Series. Everyone's really excited. And Dave, we've got Gladstone as well. They have 5 races on tomorrow. And you and Judy also have a few runners. So looking forward to seeing if they pop up in your selections tonight. I know that you are very keen on the race meeting tomorrow. And what have you got for us?
Thanks, mate. Yeah, look, we do have 3 going around, but the cardinal rule, isn't it? Don't tip your own runners. Don't put the mock on them. So I might have 1 or 2 of them in the placings, but we'll see how we go. It's tough meeting to pick a winner, and I've done a little bit of form, so hopefully I can get something for the punters. Of course, we've got the crowds back. We're completely sold out, and we'll have some bookmakers there. The tab will be open, so people will fortunately be able to have a little wager. So I hope I can tip that 500 strong crowd into a couple of winners in Gladstone. The first is a maiden over 850. As with a few of the races, it's a lottery. But I've gone with the race brigade in this. I've got the bottom one, the 7, Toy Witty on top. The Peterson stable down there at Bundaberg. It's first up, but last start was only beaten 1.65 lengths out Thangul over 800. So it'll go pretty quick. I've got it on top to beat Chloe Kinky Toes, and that's a name and a half to get it, isn't it? From the Jason Devine stable out there at Thangul. Narrowly beaten out there at Thangul a couple of weeks ago. It'll be on the speed. And I've got in Morning Touch, the first starter, to run third. Now, the jungle drums are beating that this horse ran a brilliant last 200 at track work during the week. Showed blinding speed, but it'll need to from barrier 7 over 850, and it is a first starter. So maybe a bit of caution there. But Toy Witty for me on top to beat, as I said, Chloe Kinky Toes and Morning Touch in the maiden. Race 2 is a Class B, again over the flying 850. And look, this is a good race, particularly between the top 3. If Betty G had drawn a bit better alley, I'd declare her. But she's drawn wide in 8, so that'll make it a bit tougher. And I hope I pronounce this one properly. Iashio. From the Adard stable in Rocky. Look, win at Mackay third in Rocky from its last 2. That's good form for this, isn't it? Races on the speed, but it is 1100 back to 850. So whether it's just got enough early speed, barrier 1, if it can hold that advantage, it'll clearly be very, very strong at the end. And then the exhibitionist for Kevin Miller, second over 800 at Thangul a couple of weeks ago. They're the 3, I'm sure. I've had to go with 1, so I've put Iashio on top to beat the exhibitionist and Betty G. I think the barrier beats her. She's tough and honest. But that's how I see it panning out in the B over 850. Race 3, the benchmark 45, 1194. Gee whiz, this is tough. Dolce from Darrell Garden stable down there at Bundaberg. Gee, this is a well-bred horse by Brazen Bow out of from memory, I think, a Sebring mare. Since Darrell's got it, slow flying. 2 wins and a second from its last 3 starts. Has drawn the car park, 12 out of 12, but will come into barrier 8. Unfortunately, a couple will miss out here because we have got 8 jockeys. so a couple will miss out. The emergencies will miss out, obviously, plus a couple of others. So that's unfortunate. But look, there's a bit of racing on, so we're probably lucky with jockeys travelling like they are to the Stampedes and Country Cups. There's a few injured, there's a few suspended. So I've got Dolce on top, even from that wide barrier. To beat Make Me Rich Witch. It's a winner at 1,200 and 1,400. Is that a bit of a break? And is first up, but I don't think the distance will be any problem at all. And it's formed in the south before it came up to Rocky. Looks pretty good for a race like this. And for third, I've thrown in Dahlia's Dream. Second over 1,500 at Gladstone last start. Went at the Paddy Cup a couple of weeks let up. And I think he'll race well, but he's drawn out there with Dolce, and he'll come into the 7, I think. So Dolce to beat Make Me Rich Witch and Dahlia's Dream in the third. The fourth, the open plate over 11.94. And I'm not sure if old Fab's scared a few away here, but he is dead set thrown, isn't he? Isn't he? The superstar country galloper Fab's Cowboy. With a claim, he gets in at 57.5 kilos, would you believe? And it's sometime since he's gone around carrying that weight, he won't know that he's even got anyone on his back. If it was a handicap, I reckon he's probably got 67. So 10 kilos lighter than he might have got. I think he'll lead him a merry dance. Poor old Al's Briefs, he's chased Fabs home a couple of times at Bundaberg over the past 4 or 5 months. And I think he'll be just looking at a bit of rump steak again, Al's, but he goes very, very well at the track. Another one from the Darryl Gardner stable. He'll run on strongly. And Money Ad from Bevan Johnson's stable. Look, last time it came to Gladstone, won over this trip 11.94, won with a leg in the air, but there was no Fabs Cowboy in that race, let me tell you. So I've got Fabs clearly on top. Best bet of the day, it'll be about $1.60 if we're lucky to beat Al's Briefs and Money Ad in the open plate. And the last is a benchmark 60 over the 1,500. Look, not a bad race, this. I've put the one on top, Upper Delight, from the Jared Wheelo stable in Rocky. Another beautifully bred horse. He's a fast net rock. Beaten 2.7 at Mackay last start. Pretty good form for a race like this in Gladstone. To beat Mystery Element from the Lyle Wright stable. A bit of a non-winner, this horse. 28 starts, I think, from memory for 1 win, but I think placed four of his last 5 starts and not beaten fast. So he's always there or thereabouts. He's rock hard fit. Couple of starts over a mile. Won't have any problem with the distance. And for third, I've put in the Decorator from the Tracy Simmons stable. 2 starts for a win and a second at the track and distance. So it'll be running on strongly, I'm sure, into third. So I've got Upper Delight to beat Mystery Element and the Decorator in the last over 1,500. But it's an interesting day at Gladstone because we've got the 4 young ladies. We've got Isabella Tay, Rebecca Wilson, Malaya Castle and Shannon Stephen, all claiming 3 and 4 kilos. And then we revert to the older brigade we've got. Without any disrespect to Maury Crawford, Richie Oakford, Jason Misson. And I've got to throw the lovely Nat Summers into that too because Nat's been riding for a long time. So I've got the young claiming apprentices and the 4 senior jockeys. So it'll be interesting to watch how that plays out during the day as well. But looking forward to a great day of racing.
No, I'm really glad you brought that up, Dave, and thank you very much for going through the form. A tough meeting in Gladstone, as you said, but I did note some confidence, especially around Fabs. These apprentice jockeys who are getting their opportunities while we've got so much racing in and around country Queensland racing, it's fantastic. And also a sold-out Gladstone racecourse as well. So much to look forward to. And thank you very much for going through the form. Lee, the third of the heats on Saturday is at Ewan. We'll be back up with a huge 5 race card on Saturday.
Yeah, mate. Saturday's it's another great day's racing there. And the first of Class B over 1,200. I've actually come up with Nuclear Boom here for Nippy Seymour again and Trinity Bannon. I really liked the ride that Chelsea Jockey gave this horse last start when he won it at Home Hill. It was a 10 out of 10 ride. The horse got up on the line, and I actually think it's meeting a weaker race here again. So I think it should be very hard to hold out. Race 2 on the card. Maiden plate over 1,000 metres. This is another. Like some horses have had, the amount of starts they've had, it's
26 stars, 27
yeah,
stars.
it's very, very hard. And I've actually come up with one, Metallica, for Tony Comerford. This horse has had 11 starts and only won one placing, and Trinity Bannon goes on as the late alteration of rider. And Trin's been riding sensational since she's come back, and I think she's going to have a really, really good 2 days up there. So I think it'll be very hard to beat. Race 3 on the programs, the Open Bracelet, over 1,000 metres. This is actually a really good field, very competitive field. It's part of the Stampede qualifier. But I've actually come up with Raiden here for John Mansman and Aidan Holt. I think John's going to have a swag of horses in these finals. When it's time to go down to Brisbane, I think he's going to qualify with a fair few of them. But his last run was really good. He's got 64, but the key booking of Aidan Holt, there won't be any dead weight. The horse can carry weight, and I just think, Raiden's be very hard to beat there. Race 4's the benchmark, the 0 to 65 over 1,300. I've come up with Hand of Faith here again. It's the last chance he's going to get with me anyway. I loved his first up run when he returned from the spell and let me down the last couple, but I'm going to stick solid, and hopefully he can repay us and some of the people that might have followed me in when I've tipped him. Hopefully they can get out there and he might money for them. And in the last, the country qualifier Ewan Cup, I'm going for John Mansman again here. Don't doubt Lara. Justin Stanley's a key booking here. The horse's run was sensational last start. It took off early, circled the field, hit the front, did a lot of work, and was entitled to stop a little bit in the straight, which she didn't. Brad has a sensational record there at Mackay at the moment. He's strung a heap of races together. Yeah, I think John will take out the cup there as well. That wraps up the 10 races over the 2 days for Ewan, guys.
Yeah, 10 races over 2 days. It's going to be a huge, huge weekend in Ewan, and finishing off with the series and the Ewan Cup, fantastic. And the final meeting of the weekend, Lee, sees the 2019 Country Cup winner, Deadly Choices, who's just gone from step to step, and he'll be running in the Country Cup Challenge Heat at Mount Isa. It's going to be a fantastic day, I'm sure. And have you found us a winner at Mount Isa tomorrow? Yeah,
mate. Mount Isa, they've got great fields there as well. It's good. It's just absolutely great that Queensland Racing are putting these races on to give these country guys a chance to race for a little bit better prize money and entice owners to maybe buy that little bit better horse for them as well. But the first race on the day, there's the Cutest Maiden Plate over 1,000 metres. Tanya Parry's got all but 2 of the runners here, and actually haven't gone for Tanya's horse either. I've gone for Be Present for Sean Royce and Tim Brummel. Second first up. First start at the track the other day at Mount Isa behind Miss Valletta. I think that's good enough to next race. Race 2 on the cards is Stampede Qualifier Open over 1,000. We had Jay Morris on earlier in the week, and he's got Yarra Power here for Dan Ballard. I think he's definitely set the course for this race. There's no doubt about that. He's left his other bloke at home to take him to another heat in a couple of weeks' time at Cloncurry, I'm pretty sure he said. So I think if you follow in there, his form's Guard of Honour, Snoopy.
Yeah.
It's just very, very hard to go past him.
I was going to say.
Race 3 on the cards, Class B over 1450. I tossed and turned here. I was thinking about going Deadly Day, but I just can't come into him. I just think he just always finds one better, and I really like the run of Making Shadows for Sean Roy's last start. I'm hoping that she starts this horse. He worked home really well at Cloncurry. The start before at Mount Isa, he got back a long way, but he did work home good, and I just think that puts him in good stead to maybe go over the top of these horses tomorrow. Race 4's the Spring Cup Open, the Country Cup Challenge qualifier, and yeah, you can't go past Deadly Choices. He won with the leg in the hair the other day. It was like a canter. I can't see anything getting near him at all, to be perfectly honest. I think he just goes out and treats it as a track work gallop and duly salutes again. And the last on the program, I've actually come up with Sid Coin. It was a very improved run last start. It closed late behind a couple of handy horses. It's a big drop back in grade in my eyes. And Jeffrey Felix is going out there for the ride for George Tipping. And I think if you've got a little bit of money left and you have something to play on him in the last Sid Coin, you will be going back to the book to collect some money. And that wraps up Mount Isa and a big weekend of racing, guys.
Thanks very much, Lee and Dave there. And looking for the deadly choices. He's looks the best horse in the race. And he'll need to be with these 64 kilos. Just super exciting with that racing series, and looking forward to seeing how he performs tomorrow. That wraps up our racing tips for tonight. We're off to a break. And on the other side, we've got our special guest.
We do it all. 1-800-4-PLUMBER. Plumber to your door. Bathroom, kitchens, renovations, roof repairs and installations with clear communications. Plumber to your door. 24/7 we'll be right there. Emergency service on repair. For water and gas we do it all. Just call for plumber to your door. 1-800-4-PLUMBER. Plumber to your door.
Welcome back, viewers, to our On The Bit TV Friday night edition. And we've got special guest tonight is Isabella Rab-Jones, who has some very handy rides at Tarooms. Bella, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys.
Isabella, as Gavin said, welcome to the show. Great to have you on. And this is a chance to sell yourself. I guess, for want of a better word, this goes wide right across the state, and there might be some people out there that don't know Isabella Rab-Jones. So, mate, by all means, get stuck in and tell us a little bit about yourself. First of all, mate, how long you been involved in the racing game?
I started in the racing game about 2013. So nearly 9 years I think I've been going at it for. So when I was sort of 16, I started in at my local track at Moolumba.
Okay, and currently I say, and I don't like asking ladies about their weight, but it comes with, I think it comes with the territory when it comes to racing. I read that you ride comfortably around about 52. Do you have any problems managing that weight?
No, not really. I did struggle a little bit when I first moved to Toowoomba because I came in winter. So my body was a bit hesitant to let it go. But no, I'm pretty good with it most of the time.
I can understand that in Toowoomba because I lived there for a large part of my life, Isabella, and spent a few winters there. And I can tell you, standing on the corner of Margaret and Ruthven Street when that westerly's blowing up, there's not too pleasant. So I imagine it might be a lot of difference at Clifford Park at 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, it's not the nicest.
No, I can imagine. So, mate, you headed out to Taroom on the weekend. Can you tell us what you think your best might be out there?
I picked up a really nice ride for Dale Groves today, Boiling. It should run well. And my pick of the 3 for Paddy Sexton's Patriotic Rose, she ran a cracking race at Sunshine Coast last start. She ran 3rd, and she's sort of back to her old form. She had a few runs there where she wasn't living up to what her ability was. And now that Paddy Sexton's taken over training her and I've been given the race ride, she's really stepped up and shown us a bit what she's got. So she should run well out there.
Well, you ride a bit for Paddy Sexton?
I do. I go out there once a week and ride a bit of work for him, and he's so good to me. He's really loyal. He gives me most of his race rides, and I do a lot of jump outs for him and all of that. So I'm very grateful for the connection I've made with him.
Mate, he's a great mate of mine, Paddy Sexton. So when you go out there or when you see him on Saturday, I go out there to ride a bit of work for him. Just ask him if he thinks he could still fit into the number 7 halfback jersey for the Okie Bears.
Oh, he'll give it a good go. No, he's great. You know, I go to the races with him all the time.
I reckon he might want the front rowers jersey now, but I say that tongue in cheek. Lovely bloke, Paddy, and good to hear he's looking after you.
Yeah, no, he's fantastic.
Rightio, Bella. You've been riding great since you've been back. How long have you been back exactly?
So my first race ride back was at the end of January at Warwick. I think it was about the 29th. And then obviously COVID hit and I went 2 months with only having 2 race rides. So I've only really been back a couple of months in hindsight.
Yep. No, that's great. And with your rides and that, have you got a manager or are you doing your own rides? How do people get in contact with you if they are chasing a rider?
Yeah, so I do have a manager. Her name's Kylie Nolan. She also manages Bailey Nodiff and Georgina Cartwright and Wendy, who's unfortunately out at the moment. So she's got a few little jockeys behind her name. She's very good. She does an amazing job and I'm so grateful to have her. I got that connection through doing a few of the jockey bookings when I worked for Chrissy Muntz. But yeah, trainers can contact me and I'm more than happy to ring her on their behalf and book it in through myself or my master as well.
No, that's great. Well, I wish you all the best on the weekend. I've actually tipped you to ride a couple of winners, so I'm tipping you to have a pretty big day out there, Taroom, so I hope you don't let me down anyway.
Oh, only a couple. If my 4th one gets a run, I'm riding 4.
You're riding, but there you go. There's some confidence for your viewers. How good's that?
Sounds like a big day for Bella coming up at Taroom, and if you've connections, trainers, owners, and so forth, just make the call and you can get Bella aboard. So now it's time for 60 seconds in the bush, thanks to Go To Park, and we've got Isabella Rab Jones in the gun. Are you ready for this, Isabella?
As ready as I'll ever be.
It's time for 60 seconds in the bush, thanks to Go To Park for all your training, breeze up, sales prep and spelling needs.
Okay, here we go. Just pressing my special stopwatch and we're off. Isabella, your first winner.
Montchapel.
Biggest influence on your racing career.
Chris Muntz.
Most embarrassing song on your playlist.
Barbie Girl.
Barbie Girl. Is there a chance of you singing a couple of lines?
Oh,
No.
please.
Funny. Lee was actually singing that in the break earlier. It's funny.
Yeah, I was humming it. So.
You're stuck on a deserted island. Which 2 people would you like to take on the island with you?
My mum and my nana.
Lovely. Favourite track?
Probably Doomben. I've only ridden their track gallops, but yeah, Doomben.
And after Taroom, after you win a quartet tomorrow, you might be ticking Taroom up the ladder a little bit. Favourite horse?
Centerfire.
Your nickname?
Bella. Oh, actually, no, Rattle Bones, according to Paddy Sexton.
And finally, your celebrity crush. We've all got one. Who is it?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Very quick.
Yeah.
Take notice as well. If you
Didn't have to think about that one.
Isabella, thank you very much for being on the show. We're thrilled with your success, and we hope to have you on the show in the future to celebrate everything that you're doing.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
If you ride 4, I'll get you back on Tuesday.
Yeah, well, I'll hold you to that.
I'll hold you to it. So if you ride 4, I'll definitely get you back on.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll hold you to it.
Fantastic. That was 60 seconds in the bush with Bella Rab Jones. Looking forward to watching her rides. Is really confident. We're very excited. Wish her all the best at Taroom tomorrow. We're off to our final break of the night, and we'll come back to wrap up the show.
On the Bit is proudly supported by Manuplex, creating a more productive future for Australian mining.
We do it all. 1-800-4-PLUMBER. Plumber to your door. Bathroom, kitchens, renovations, roof repairs and installations with clear communications. Plumber to your door. 24/7 we'll be right there. Emergency service or repair. For water and gas we do it all. Just call for plumber to your door. 1-800-4-PLUMBER. Plumber to your door.
It's time for tonight's Celebrity Tip-Off. Tonight, the beard takes on Bick. Here are the boys' selections for tomorrow. Good luck.
Welcome back to On The Bit TV. Isabella Rabjones there, fantastic guest on the show, and we wish Bella all the best in Taroom tomorrow. Dave, just an exciting time of year for all participants, and we've got through and we're going through COVID, but an absolute 2 cracking days of racing in Ewan. We've got the heats. We've got 4 races, in fact, 4 meetings in Queensland. It just doesn't get much better than this, does it?
No, as you said, Gav, tremendous weekend, and we've spoken about it at length earlier in the show. Fantastic for all the participants, and again, great initiative from RQ, giving those people in the country, the opportunity to get into this. And I think Lee said earlier, people might spend a few more dollars on a horse. They target their horses for this race because it's a massive thing if they can get a horse to the city and race on one of those premier tracks. It's a great thing for them, and it's a great thing for country racing. And let's hope we get through COVID. Things like the Battle of the Bush come back. I know there's plans in the wings for potentially some more series racing in the country. Great, just great to see it unfolding the way it is in what's been a difficult time for racing.
And congratulations to yourself and your committee at Gladstone as well. I know it hasn't been easy, and to have crowds come back and bookies on course, and you got the capacity of 500. You've sold out on your first day. It's a feather in your cap, and I know you're a pretty humble man, and you won't take any credit for it on a forum like this, but it's definitely worth recognition.
Yeah, look, mate, appreciate those words, and look, there's a lot of effort gone into it from plenty of people. So without the support and without giving it too much kudos, and I shouldn't say this too loudly, but my lovely wife has worked tirelessly in her role as Secretary Treasurer to make this happen, and many long hours, mate, more than all of us probably combined. So the credit will be with her if we pull it off. But look, there's plenty of country clubs like, the Long Reaches, the Barkies, these places that have had crowds back previously. They've been the front runners in this, some of these country clubs getting people back. And look, they've done it very, very well. I've certainly gone to those clubs and had some discussions with them and asked them how they did things and got some tips from them. So we're certainly learning from them, and we'll put some of those procedures and protocols in place to make sure everything goes off well for us on Saturday. Brilliant,
and all the very best for your 3 runners as well. Lee and Dave, is there a heat in particular across tomorrow that you're really looking forward to? Is there one that you've picked out that you think, yeah, this is the one that really resonates with me?
Mate, I'm sorry, Lee. You go, mate.
No, you're right, mate. You keep going. I'll chime in after you.
Dave, why don't you continue?
Right, well, mate, I'm going to go. The one I like's the one at Ewan, and I'm going to put the mock on Lee's tip. I think Johnny Manselman's other horse, District, can beat Braden. Jay Stanley going all the way up to Ewan to do the steering. I think he probably gets the feature double with Johnny Manselman up there. So that's the one. Look, we all look forward to seeing the deadly choices of the world and these sort of horses going round. But I think that's a really competitive race up there, the Stampede race. And I think for mine, I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I think District will get the chocolates.
And Lee, what about yourself? Is there a heat that's really standing out that you're really going to be tuning into?
Oh, mate, I'll be tuned into all of them because it's just exciting for Queensland racing. It's hard to put my thumb on any one of the heats. John Mansman, like I said, I think he's going to have a big hand to play in both these finals in Brisbane. I think he's going to qualify quite a few horses. And yeah, I wish him all the best. He's got horses going everywhere this weekend. It's a credit to him. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he gets them there. But himself and Jade, they work hard, and it's a big family environment. I know Tracy helps out as well, and his father and mum are there to help. So yeah, congratulations, just a big congratulations to John and to people like you that keep this Queensland country circuit going. Without people like that, and Tanya Parry's and your Todd Austins, it wouldn't be sustainable. But while they're involved, I'm sure more people are going to get behind it, and yeah, I just really look forward to seeing how this is going to grow and how Queensland racing gets repaid for putting the faith in these country folks.
Very well said, Lee. Very well said. And Dave, before we go, along those lines, we must make special mention to Racing Queensland. A lot of work goes in. You've mentioned some of it at Gladstone tonight, and most of it happens behind the scenes. And to Brendan Parnell, Adam Wallish, Simon Stout, Ryan Stanaway, and all of the team at Racing Queensland, they do deserve a special mention here tonight.
Oh, and look, absolutely correct, Gavin. And I'm sure there's others, and we don't deal with those people on a day-to-day basis. But I've got to throw the lovely Melinda Martin into the fray there as well. Look, all approachable people at the top level in the industry in Queensland. You can pick up the phone, you can have a yarn to these gentlemen, and they've been at the forefront, obviously, of getting these series up and running and really creating the interest in country racing. And I sound like the broken record or the big white cocky in the cage. I've said it before, and I don't know the exact numbers. I will go and look it up after this, so I do know it. But Brendan Parnell continues to say it's in excess of 60, I think, race clubs in Queensland where their annual cup meeting is the biggest event in the town for the year. So that speaks volumes, doesn't it, for the industry, for the the social infrastructure of the town. So for RQ to be supporting that like they are, yep, great kudos to them, and let's hope it continues.
Absolutely, gentlemen. What an absolute cracking show. I'm not sure how I'm sleeping tonight. I'll be going through some more form. I'll be up to all hours. We must also thank our sponsors, and they're a fantastic support to what we do, which enables us to showcase the great product which is Country Queensland Racing. Manuplex, Vac Truck Industries, Aries Racing, Plumber to Your Door, and Charlie de Villiers Racing. Thank you very much for your support. We can't do what we do without your support. It's highly appreciated and fantastic stuff. That brings us to the end of our show. I'm going to go dip into some more form tonight. Good luck to everyone tomorrow and across the week in racing. I'm Gavin Morris, and good night for On the Bit Racing.
If you would like to advertise your business or training operation, contact the team at On The Bit today. On The Bit, racing towards a brighter future for Queensland country racing.